You won't believe this, but I just woke up on my first night of coming back from my long vacation, and I still got luggages that are unpacked, backpacks with my laptop, etc., and boxes and boxes of these shipment foam, styrofoam boxes. Anyways, that's not what's important. Oh, and I forgot. Did I mention suitcases and luggage? Yeah, these things have just been lying in the living room because we got here last night. And when I came out of my pond last night, everything was fine. But then I woke up this morning and came out. I saw that my yard got flooded, right? Uh, and I know it was not raining because everything else is dry. And check out my pond right now. Like half the water got removed last night where I was sleeping. I thought I had left the little drain pump on, but that was not the case because I turned it off before I went to sleep last night. How scary is that, huh? The first night I came home, my pond got flooded and drained, but luckily there's still a lot of water left. Let me show you what really happened. You won't believe this, but this is what happened. There is the issue. My pump right here. So for some reason, this particular port and rubber connector, I thought I tightened everything, but it got loose. So when the water was coming in, it eventually got put back out in this area. And then, you know, it got drained into different parts of the yard as well as back into the pond, but not fast enough, clearly. So that was very odd. But since I've been gone for so long, I guess this is a good opportunity to start cleaning these things as well. So I'll be cleaning the um, skimmer baskets, the priming baskets. That's what I'll be doing. But I felt pretty relieved that at least this happened while I'm back. I was monitoring things over the camera for the last like 45 days, and there was not a single issue. And then when I just came back, this happened. So if something like this were to happen, it could not have happened at a better time, in my opinion. The pond is still very green, a lot of algae, so I'm gonna have to remove most of the water anyways, and then putting it back on. Man, kind of scary waking up in the morning. I'm still a little sleepy and jet lagged, but this is the first thing that I saw. So that's with this pond. So we'll just have to wait for the water to come back, and then apparently over the last month and a half there was a lot of, well, since last week because of the fire in LA, there were a lot of wind and such, and so leaves, all types of leaves were blown into this pond here, but that was easy to skim out. Water temperature here is at 52 degrees, surprisingly. See that? That's a new thermostat that I got. It's got a, I shouldn't say thermostat, it's not controlling it, it's a thermometer. It has a probe that just goes right into the water, which gives you a much more accurate reading. But I'm liking some of the fish, the way they're looking. Hey, look how big the chow woi got, the brown chow woi. But right now in the winter, it's not as dark, so it looks really like, it actually looks kind of like a light brown color, which looks, I think, a better than the dark chocolate color in the summer. Let's see, that's the big benigoi. Oh, here's the karashi. There is some growth in the last month and a half. Due to the water temperature being a little bit colder, I've only been feeding like once a day. Sometimes I skip a meal if I feel like it takes too long for them to eat. Okay, so luckily we averted the accident right on time for the large pond. The little pond, on the other hand, is crystal clear with a lot of flowing hair algae. See that? But I've also reduced feeding in this pond. This pond water temperature right now is at 53 degrees in the morning. So sometimes during the day it's gonna rise by a couple of degrees, and then in the nighttime it drops, which is obviously common because it does get a little bit colder here at night right now. So right now at night we're like in the high 40s, I think, or the mid 40s. But the fish are extremely active in this pond. They're doing really well in this pond. So I think I have to remove some of the algae by hand. I'm gonna scrub it off somehow. I'm thinking about using a I can't even think of the word right now. Like one of those the sweeping brooms, the one with the plastic brushes, and then I'm just gonna try to scrape it off if I could. I see that algae is actually quite dense in that portion, and even down there I see some right there too. On this side there's also some algae here on the waterfall area. But the fish in this pond is looking really good. Despite just having less food, I think they can eat the algae as well. I might just let them eat the algae if they're hungry. The white platinums are looking really nice as they get older. I do have two kohaku that has completely lost the color, so there's one right there. Sadly, that one lost all the red. Same as the other one down there. Okay, that's coming here. There we go. That white one also lost all of its color. The platinum that got a giant scar on its head is slowly healing, but it's not fully covered yet. That thing somehow busted its head and got scalped really heavy. The big kohaku seems to be healed, but I'm still seeing like some white blotches on its skin, indicating that it still have a little bit something going on. I'm hoping by the when it warms up that it gets better. Overall though, I'm pretty happy with the shape of this pond, with the exception of the string algae. But I think that could be fixed. I think part of the contribution to that is when I clean out the giant sump on this side, I kill off some of the bacteria, so it wasn't taking the nutrient fast enough, and it gave this thing an opportunity to grow. Oh, and look at that little, I got some Ginrin Sorgoi last time. It's kind of hard to see, but it is growing right there. Some of the Yamabuki is also looking quite nice, the Ginrin Yamabuki. Yeah, so that is a quick update. It's been a while since I have any real video. So I'm not concerned with this one. I'm not concerned with this one. At this time, it's not much since we caught the issue. We're just gonna let the water fill up and then skim some of the leaf out. Bolt the connector back on, and I think we should be back and running. I thought I had checked everything, but gotta make sure that things are properly tightened. Maybe there might have been some vibration from the pump, and over time it just got loose. So I'll have to check that again as well. Maybe the placement of the pump needs to be adjusted. I'm pretty relieved though that we could have had mass casualty here. Might take another 12 hours to get all this water back in though. And who knows how long it's going to take for this pond to start getting clear again. Just shocking that this thing got loose. Can't believe it. This is actually this line. It's not even a high power pump actually. This is just an 80-watt pump right here. But yeah, normally it doesn't really. Yeah, see, normally it can't just get loose because it's really tight. I might have adjusted it before and forgot to put it back on somehow. Because look how snug it goes in. I guess I'll have to do that. Maybe this one I have to push it back in too because it's looking a little loose right here. So I guess one way to make sure that this thing stays fit is pushing in so that there's less of a gap here. See, the gap here is smaller compared to this gap. This is like a little bit over 3/4 of an inch. This is about 1/4 of an inch. So if you have a gap that's 1/4 of an inch, or if anything, you should probably seat it flush in all the way. Yeah, flush in, and that would be good. So this one gotta loosen up and put it back in because I'm feeling like it came out a little bit. Yeah, everything else is fine. We're not concerned with this one. This one doesn't go in because this part is not long enough. This one's okay, I hope. Looks a little bent right here, but we're gonna have to tighten that in as well. I guess after a year or a year and a half, or almost 2 years, you're gonna have to do something like this. It's kind of like a little maintenance. Yeah, okay, I have to tighten this one too, otherwise it's gonna be a problem. So I'll know next time when I go away that I gotta tighten, push everything back in. This thing here is fine. Oh my gosh. Interesting. Very interesting. Talk about timing though. Alright. That's it for this. I actually like the green algae water. It's really good for the skin. I think the color on the fish comes out a lot nicer. But it's not gonna last forever. Eventually it's gonna go away. Yeah, they're pretty active in this temperature too. It's only 52 degrees, but the way they're swimming, they look quite happy. I skipped a few days while I was putting things back together, but the system is been back up and running. I put in 2 UV lights in there because I really wanted to clear up the green water. I think that ever since I took out the main filtration there and just redid it, it's been green for a while, and I It's been good for the fish, but I've been wanting to be able to see the fish so I can net some out. But PP and UV light, despite doing that, it just wasn't fast enough. To be honest, there's really hardly a good alternative to getting the water clean besides having a really good, fully cycle biological filtration that's active. And in between the two ponds, I have this pond, the large pond, and the small pond, which has been to date right now, it's almost 3 years old. So this pond is fully cycled. Like, all the filtration in here is fully cycled. I got that stack right there, the two down there by the deck, and this giant sump area here. It's fully cycled. So what I did was I borrowed the filtration here. This filtration was built for a very large pond, so it's overkill for this pond. And I borrowed it so that I can filter out the green water from the large pond into here. It may seem like a strange idea because you're mixing water and there's always that risk that you're afraid of, certain things from one pond get into another. But these two ponds, they're interchangeable. I put the fish here, I take them out, put them back in together between the two ponds, no problem. Sometimes I take multiple fish and drop them in different ponds. The reason why I'm doing this is because it was faster. It would have taken way too long, and who knows how long it would have taken for that pond filtration media to mature and get this water clear. But the way I set this up, it's quite simple. I ran two pumps. So here's the first pump right here. The small pump is running right now, and it's only pushing 20 watts, so it's not a lot of power. So that one runs one line. It brings up the water into the pond constantly, right? So it's filling up the pond. And then I have another pump since I ran out, so I pull out another larger pariah pump right here. I pulled this one out. Right now it's currently off, but I have it on a timer, and I've been, fine-tuning it so that the timer goes on and off at a certain rate and a certain time. So right now it's currently set to stay on for 6 minutes and then off for about 10 or 11 minutes, and it just keeps cycle throughout the day and night. So by going on and off, whenever this thing fills up the water and the time comes on, this will drain the water down here. So let's take a look. If we rotate this, so we got, right now it says 2 minutes, right? So in another 2 minutes it's gonna turn on, and then we'll see the water come out. But even when this thing is off, the water actually siphons because just gravity and so on, and it siphons, and look, it's still pulling water at a slow rate. See that? Which is good because I'm constantly bringing water up, so it's good to have water come down. Alright, I'm gonna leave it down there. Okay, so I'm gonna try to pull a clip of what this pond looked like before I did this, because right now it's a little murky. You see that? You can see some of the fish if they're closer to the surface, but it's not crystal clear. However, this is the second day. Actually, technically, I did this on Monday. So Tuesday we had a full day of cycling, and right now it's Wednesday. Right now the water is actually a little better than when it started on Monday, because when I pushed water in here, it was very green. And then Tuesday I saw a marginal improvement, but now I can see a little bit more fish. So believe it or not, this is the fastest way I've seen to get the water super clear eventually if it's already green. And this only works if you have a mature system in your pond. Obviously the vast majority of people aren't going to be having two ponds running. But when I originally built this pond, I was thinking about using this whole filtration for both ponds, but then I broke it individually because I didn't want to have to deal with balancing water. In any case, borrowing the filtration here. So what I mean by borrowing is I'm taking the water from the large pond, I'm putting it in here, watch it, so it's constantly on. So it's pumping water from the pond into here, see it? And that water used to be super green, but now it looks a little clearer. So the water's getting pulled from the big pond into here. It cycles through this system, which works in conjunction with the filtration already in this pond. It's just not mature and strong enough yet. So this one is able to help break down and convert, you know, the ammonia, the nitrate, etc. So because it's doing that, it's accelerating the removal of those chemicals. Therefore, it allows the algae to slowly die off. And this pond was crystal clear, but because of this, it's a little murky, and it's becoming clearer by the day. So now, as I was mentioning, the timer came on, right? Because I saw the pipe vibrating a little bit, the holes. So look, the thing's gonna come on for what appears to be about 5 minutes, and it looks like it's gonna be now it's at 4 minutes, so it's been on for about 1 minute because I was talking. See that? So it's gonna go on and off, and let me lock this thing. Oh, okay, hold on. How do I lock this? I gotta lock it so that we don't accidentally turn it off. Oh, there you go. The lock icon is on. This timer is extremely useful. I use it for my auto feeder as well. Okay. So, how do I gauge the water clarity improvement? It's really simple. When I started this, I can barely see that first step right there in the pond, right? On the second day, the second step down there was visible. So now we're on the technically the third day, and it's a little hard to see, but the third step is slowly becoming visible. And the water is much thinner in terms of like the green color. The green color from the algae has gotten a lot thinner, and this is mainly contributed to that large filtration, removing all the chemicals out first. But also I have 2 UV there. This system also has 1 UV, so everything's really working together to get the water clear. And by the end of the week, I am expecting this water to be much clearer than it is now. But the improvement is extremely visible. I mean, you can see the fish much better now, even though it's a little murky. But the fact that you can see them swimming around is an improvement. So I'm gonna let this run. I might let this run for a little bit longer because it's working out a lot better than I was expecting. It's really clearing up the water despite how cold it is. The water right now, the temperature is gonna be around 53, 54 degrees. Let me see. I have this, yeah, it's 53.6 degrees right now in this pond. During the day when the sun comes on, it warms up a few degrees, but I'm gonna stop feeding for a few days. The fact that I can see the fish now makes me really happy. I've been really like trying to brute force the removal of the algae with chemical, but it's just not working out as well. So borrowing the system right there, it's a great way of doing it. See, it's just much more pleasant being able to see the fish now. So each day I'm getting a few extra inches of visibility inside the pond, and I can already see this water it's got a little bit of a green yellow tint to it, but it's totally different from what it was a few days ago when it was just like a thick green color, like a soup color green. So the idea was really simple. You know, if you happen to have 2 ponds and one is newer than the other, or one has a more filtration media and is fully cycled like those two, like that pond. The thing about this small pond is that it's overbuilt. I mean, there's just so much filtration in this pond that it can probably filter 2 of these giant pools right here with no problem once it's fully cycled. And even though it's murky right now, if I stop feeding it water, it'll clear up within a day or 2, like no problem. But at the rate that it's clearing up the giant pond, this itself will slowly clear up, hopefully by the end of the week. So I'll keep that updated every few days to see how we're doing. Today's Wednesday. I'm gonna do probably an update, quick update on the next few days, just to see. But so far, happy. In addition, when I came back from my trip, there was actually a lot going on with this small pond that I couldn't see on the camera. For example, there's water coming under the deck, right, coming down because there's 2 containers full of oyster shells. Anyway, that pump was clogged, and you wouldn't believe what happened. But I had multiple fish somehow got inside the pond, and it got through the filter, and then it died, unfortunately. But it died in here, and it got stuck inside these valves right here, inside the pipes right here. So that was a really unfortunate thing that happened. But they're okay now. Everything is fine now. So I had to unhook it, remove the dead carcass, and I was able to clear up 2 pumps that got jammed. This one right here, that was jammed, and one of them feeding this one, which was the reason why we had all that string algae. And I pulled out the string algae, just dumped it all around the place to kind of like act as fertilizer. But now we have water coming out here, which I'm happy. You can see the little bubble fizzing right there. The string algae grew because there just wasn't enough water circulating through, and this entire filtration pit down here was not being put to use. So there was a lot of excess nutrient in the water. So the algae made use of that and just started blanketing the whole area. Now that we clear that up, the string algae are gonna have a much more difficult time trying to grow. So yeah, I'm gonna be, if I show you a before picture of a video clip of this pond, you will see that it's crystal clear. So it's nothing like this right now. But in a few days, I'll be able to see the bottom here. What I did was I also put 2 of the stainless steel basket on top of my bottom drain, because I noticed the bottom drain, even though the gap is not even that big, the fish, they managed to get in there and make its way into the filter where they stay trapped sometimes for a while, because if I'm lazy, I'm not cleaning it out, then they stay trapped in there. I've had a few fish that was damaged because they were trapped in there. So as the drum spins in a circle, sometimes it does cause some damage, and the fish do get stressed out in there. I managed to take them out and threw them back in here, so they should be okay. I'm just prepping the pond because this weekend I'm gonna go to San Diego Koi Show, and I'm hoping to pick up some more, fish to grow out for fun. And it'd be a lot nicer if I can get both of them clear so that we can see things and track the progress. As much as I want to keep the water green for the fish, and believe it or not, the green water is extremely healthy for the fish, but at a certain point I still have to see the fish. So now, even though they're at the bottom, you can see the outlines right there. You can see the basic colors, the basic shape, and the pattern. So just give it a few more days, and this pond should be much better. I'll be so happy to start seeing the bottom again. Also, when you're transferring water between the 2 ponds and sharing it like this, you're also increasing bacteria into this pond, because that pond has a lot of good beneficial bacteria, and it does flow into the water down here, and it just gives it a little more boost. But just to reiterate, the water clarity, the more I can see the bottom each day, the more I can tell that this method works really well. Yeah, the fish are actually growing really well because I'm still feeding them, but for this purpose, I'm gonna let the water clear up for a few days before I start feeding again. I do feed them a little bit of food just to kind of watch them come to the surface for fun. Yeah, I'm liking the way that show was looking right now. Looking good. You see, as they see me come in here, so then they think I'm feeding them, so they're gathering. These fish aren't loyal to me. They're loyal to the food. That's what it is. Yeah, so in this pond, my two best grower right here, the Karashi, the Ginrin, getting really big now. And of course I got a brown chawoy that's massive. Also happens to be a male fish. Somehow it just got a giant body. Believe it or not, there's gonna be about 80 fish or more in here. Once it clears up, we can see a lot more. A lot more. Oh, see, that's the Terrazzo Karashi right there, the mango Karashi. Super long body. It was a little bit curved, bent a little bit in the small pond, but now here it's able to swim. Oh, look at the brown chawoy. The color is much lighter now in the winter, which is quite nice, but it gets much more dark chocolate color in the summer when it warms up. The current that I've created is nice and strong. It gives the fish a really good area to kind of exercise and swim. Oh, look at the Momotaro male kohaku. That fish is growing nicely. It's got a long, slender body right now. I gotta fatten it up, but it's growing, so I'm happy to see it. The color has maintained, which is great. This kohaku I traded for. It's got a couple of black spots, but really nice body. Oh, I'm just happy to see the fish close up like this. Yeah, here's the other one. Here's the Ginrin Karashi. Quite big. I just so happen to have two, and one is a male and one's a female. So for my future breeding program, having both male and female is a great arrangement, so that I can mix and match with different varieties from different breeders. That's also a male Karashi. A little unclear, but when that fish was small, when I got them when they were like 6, 7, 8 inches, as a big lot of fish, like 150 pieces, that fish really stood out as a fish with a nice head, nice body frame, good backbone. Wish it was a female fish, but it turned out to be a male fish. Nonetheless, it's a high prospect fish because it's really long, and that's what I'm looking for when I'm breeding. I'm looking for a long fish. Bulking up the fish is actually pretty easy. It's just a matter of feeding a lot, but getting a fish that has a long body and essentially like a tall long fish, that's very difficult. So I'm keeping that fish around for future breeding. The showa's developing really nice. See the showa right here? That one, and there's another showa that hasn't fully built up and darkened yet. But that one, the black pattern looks great. Oh, here's the other showa right here. This is the one that I did a comparison before. So this one, I thought it was gonna have the black become more prominent sooner, but we might have to wait another year. Yeah, look at the bulk on this Karashi. Man, the body is crazy. So I'm really happy with this method of cleaning up algae. It really is the best method so far. And look, if you don't happen to have two ponds like me, you just have to wait and don't have so many fish, and build more filtration. That's it. That's probably the easiest method, is Just overbuild the filtration, just put a lot of media in there, and it will clear up. And once it's clear up, it's almost impossible for the water to get dirty again unless you kill the bacteria or something else goes really wrong. I've noticed that with a small pond. Once it's good, after a few years, it is crystal clear, like gin crystal clear. Let's see what's going on. I haven't seen these fish up close in a while. That Ginrin Shuro, it's got a big black spot. It's a female fish, grown okay. Notice the difference between the two. Look at this. Look at that Karashi, and look at this Karashi. They both came at the same time, but look at the size difference. This Karashi is now reaching the size of the red Benigoi, which already started out as a very large fish. Yeah, surprisingly, that male Karashi that I was talking about, the one with the big strong bone and long body, it is getting very long actually. It doesn't have the bulk of a female fish, but it's very long. So that fish, give it another few years and fan it up, it's gonna look quite tremendous. Some of these Dainichi Hiyusuris have gotten a lot bigger too. Basically, just give them a big space to swim in and a lot of food, and they just grow. There's really no magic to it. I'm not trying to act like I know what I'm doing, because all I've done so far is feed, and feed. The Benigoi, after all these years, the scar has not healed yet. I think it may have lost that red pigment in that area, which might be a permanent mark now. We were hoping that after a while it would clear up and become red in that area, but the damage, the gouge was too deep. Look at that Karashi, man. I'm so impressed. This Sanke has turned out to be really cool. This is a Maruto Sanke. The seller actually shipped me the wrong fish, but this is like 3 years ago, so now it's growing. The Sumi spot is coming up nicely. The red color has kind of maintained, and it's a male fish, but it's really good. Good growth, long body, looks healthy, really healthy. I wish I could see one of my green Ginrin Chawoi here, like a golden green color Chawoi. It's gotten quite massive, and it's only been in here for a few, since the summer, but it's gotten big and bulky. Yeah, so that kind of wraps up my recent doing with the pond since I came back from my long trip. There was a lot of stuff that I had to do, cleaning, pulling out weeds, but my focus was obviously on the pond, and so that's where we're at right now. Next week everything should clear up by Lunar New Year. I'm still impressed by how fast the water's clearing up by utilizing that filtration over there. It's a night and day difference. I'm not exaggerating. Within the time span that I've had it makes such a huge difference. And next week, once this clears up, I'm gonna show you guys how many fish is actually in here. I put in like 10 small kohaku to grow out as well. All right, I'm gonna get to work, and then hopefully I'll have this video uploaded by today. um, Today is actually January 22nd.